Hello everyone. Good evening. It's what 10 it's 10:30 Eastern time, and if you're central it's what 9. West Coast it's what 7:30ish. So it's a little late at night, but I thought I should come to you one more time to pick up where we left off yesterday talking about overcoming a crisis. I was giving you more of mindset, a lot of thinking, perspective. And for this evening, I want to go into some tangible stuff that you can be doing right now if you haven't already. If you haven't already, you're behind. Okay. But for those who have been preparing, that have seen the storm coming, right? You foresaw it coming. You started preparing and planning in advance. Look at you, right? You're that much more prepared. You're that much ready. You're not panicking. You're not freaking out. You're just letting the crisis pass, which you have no control over. And you're moving on with your life, and you're doing your thing, and you're making it happen. So this evening, I want to talk about how to expand in a crisis or in a chaos when everybody else is freaking out. Particular fundamental principle strategies that you could be doing right now to capitalize and take advantage of the many opportunities that are going to come up. Now, I want to put my opportunity out there and to just let people know, hey, if there's anyone now, why is this making noise? The heck? That's weird. Let's see. How's my audio? Is it still good? Let me know. I just hit the mute button on my laptop. I want to make sure it doesn't cut off my audio. And let me welcome some people in the house here. Hello, Joel. How are you? God bless. Got 15 people in the house so far. All right, so we're good. Audio's good. So going back to what I was saying, I believe there's an opportunity rising very quickly because what I'm trying to do is follow the money. So if there's anyone that knows anything about agriculture, because I think that is going to be a huge opportunity, is making an investment in some type of agriculture. I don't know, farming, crops, food in general. I think that's going to be a huge player depending on how this all works out. You know, I'm praying for the best, but preparing for the worst. Okay. And that's what everybody really should be doing. Hello, Mr. 369 again. How you doing? Jay Walker, how's it going? Hello, David. Okay. Awesome, awesome. So let's direct our attention to the board here talking about how to expand in a crisis. What you need to be doing right now, all right? And I pulled this stuff right off Grant Cardone's latest video. He was talking about, how to avoid freaking out like everybody else and things that you can be doing. So he listed 5 critical moves that he recommended his whole entire following to be doing. And I want to take those same 5 things that he spoke about, expand on them, and talk about how to expand in crisis. So the very first thing he said was don't panic. All right? Don't panic, just plan and prepare. Think about your needs, forget about wants. Just focus on the needs. Food, water, shelter, supplies, right? How much of each do you have? He was saying to have at least, like 2 weeks worth of food and water. And for me, I want to, whatever people say, I'm doubling it, right? So, I want to have as much as 1 month worth of food, water, supplies, whatever it is. Shelter, hey, you know what I mean? Like, make sure you're paying your bills. That's really the most important thing there. So the next thing he was talking about, um, CTE. What did he say? It slipped my mind again. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot it. Oh, there it is. Commit to expansion. All right, that's what CTE stands for. Commit to expansion. What could you be doing right now that probably nobody else will be doing, right? While everybody else is freaking out and all that good stuff. Okay. Most people, I think right now are getting ready to bunker down. I know there's some hot areas all over the US right now where they've already shut down schools, they've already shut down the colleges, they shut down, businesses are closing up. We're seeing that. In my area, all of the public schools have shut their doors for the next 2 weeks. So that is an indication when it comes to the private sector and government. When you see private sector and government doing things in advance before the President of the United States even declares something, right? So before he declared an emergency and all that stuff, the NBA already shut down in advance. Different private sectors, Amazon, right? They already shut down. They're already closing up shop. So you and I are getting the news days after, okay? So you need to be paying attention to what the rich and what the wealthy are doing. You need to be paying very close attention. You need to cut off the Netflix, cut off the Hulu and the shows and whatnot, and focus on what the rich are doing, what the wealthy people are planning, okay? Focus on it, zero in on it so that you know how to act. And so when it comes to committing to expansion, which is something that Grant Cardone just mentioned today, what that means for me is simply like maximizing on for in my business, maximizing on my content, right? So maximizing on content creation, right? Which is literally what I'm doing right now. Okay. So for those of you, I do have clients that are creating content, they're in the process. Now's never a better time. Look, you're locked in your home. No one's it's gonna it looks like it's gonna get worse and worse, but they're telling us obviously don't panic, don't freak out, just plan and prepare, have confidence, do the necessary things. If your area is already on lockdown, because I know I think there's an area already up north, New Rochelle, where the Coast Guard already came in and probably already, putting in curfews and things like that. So if you're seeing curfews, Coast Guard going into other area or areas, don't assume they won't come to your area, right? So think about the worst possible case scenario in your household, in your kingdom, right? And for me, that's saying if they declare that no one's allowed to leave their house, you got to stay locked in. So one of the things that I'm doing right now is I came to my office and I'm removing all of my, I'm removing like a good microphone, a tripod, some lights, extra lights that I have, bring it back to my room so I can record content there so that it doesn't stop. Production doesn't stop, right? And I can, just in case they say no one's allowed to leave their home. Another thing, I'm letting my mom know, hey, over this weekend, let's stock up one more time, right? Let's just make sure we get everything we need. Let's, either go early in the morning or late in the evening after the rush is over, and just get whatever we can, stock it up. Cool. Since public schools all closed, my sister and niece, they go to private school. They haven't declared that they're closing up shop, but I'm assuming they are. So if that's the case, someone needs to watch them. And I'm sure I got a whole lot of parents that are working. Business is still up, but public schools have closed. Who watches the kids, right? So you got to start thinking about that. Okay, this might hit me. So if I have anyone that's in the Broward area, I'm sure it's already going to hit you. Like, holy crap, for the next 2 weeks, public schools are closed. And if your kids are in elementary or middle school, someone needs to be home to watch them. But how do you watch them if you got to go to work and make money, right? So that's going to be a big dilemma there, trying to figure that one out. So when you're committing to expansion, you're not allowing circumstances to just stop you from being productive. Even if you can't go to work, to your job, that doesn't mean your production has to stop. Do not attach yourself to a job. A job is temporary. Your purpose is for life. So now might be the best opportunity in your life to focus on who you are, why you're here, what's your purpose in life, where you're going. And that could simply mean recording and documenting, whether it's recording videos, creating posts, creating those social media profiles, starting that business plan, right? Maybe you have a business plan that you just been putting off to the side, procrastinating about. Hey, now's the time. Okay? Maybe there's a book inside of you that you started writing and you stopped. Now's the perfect time. Read a book. Hey, speaking about books, now's the perfect time to get into the Word. Okay? Now's the perfect time to get into the Word, man. It's never a better time to get into the Word during a crisis, to reground yourself in the things that you believe in, your faith, right? And the works that go along with your faith. So now's a perfect time to do that. Now is not a perfect time to Netflix and chill, okay? Hulu and HBO and Showtime. No. Now is the perfect time to build relationships, right? If you're stuck in your house, if you live in a toxic household, man, you need to be rebuilding that. You got a toxic relationship with someone in your household? Man, come on, man, you got to rebuild that. Now's the perfect time. Don't watch TV. Forget that. Build your relationships. Write the book that you always wanted to write. Develop that business plan that you've always wanted to develop. Create content. Tell your story. Give, give, give. Okay? So follow the money, right? That was the third thing Grant Cardone spoke about. Follow the money, commit to expansion, don't panic, just plan and prepare. The next thing is be persistent, which is coming back to those action steps. Be persistent. Sell something, right? Dude, Grant Cardone just sent me like 10 emails over the past 48 hours. He is still selling, even in a crisis. And guess what? People are buying. The hell? You think people are not buying your products? You think people are just going to stop buying products? No, I promise you. People are still going to buy products. If you ain't got nothing to sell, figure out something that you can sell so that you can bring in other streams of income other than your job. Okay? Be persistent. Nobody else is going to be selling. Do you understand that? Nobody. Everybody is, right? Grant Cardone, that dude is selling like a wild animal right now. He's sending me emails like crazy. Buy the 10x GrowthCon recording. You need coaching. Here it is. He didn't close his website down. You can still go on there and buy materials from him. Buy coaching, buy products. He didn't shut it down. He might send his employees home, but production will not stop. He'll keep his key staff in place and send the lower staff home that don't have the high roles that is required for him to keep production in order, right? And he keeps selling. Same thing with me. I'm not going to stop selling, right? I'm working on like 7 infinite banking policies right now as we speak. 7. And I'm talking like nice size policies. And I'm like, wow, they must not be going through a crisis. Neither am I. Let's do business in the midst of a crisis. They're just preparing at a whole nother level that you are. That's all. And it takes commitment, right? Committing to expansion, following the money. Where's the money going? Okay. Last thing, take advantage of opportunities and please give. Okay. Grant Cardone didn't mention the give part. He just said take advantage of opportunities. And I agree with that. I'm also saying give. Give your time. Okay. Give your energy, give your focus, give your attention to people, right? Build relationships, right? Let me tell you, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt to ask for help. Okay? The good Lord says, ask and you shall receive. So don't forget about this critical part right here. Ask for help. Okay? This is tangible stuff that you can be doing right now. All right, let me turn it over to some questions here. Let me see who's in the chat room real quick. Let's see. Mr. Long says, are you a life insurance agent? Yes, I am. I sell life insurance for the infinite banking concept primarily. So, yep, I do that. Joe Flores says, I'd like to know if anyone actually knows anyone who is sick from coronavirus. 33 confirmed in the whole state of Colorado, right? So, you know, let me see. It's interesting how much money is being thrown like into this type of crisis, this type of what's now being called a pandemic. But I guess if we were to look at the numbers in terms of how many deaths versus, I guess, how many people died last year on the flu alone or other stuff, it's really not in comparison. I just think right now the United States is going way over the top on purpose to best prepare themselves for the worst and to also create a system in case something like this were to happen again in the future. At least we know how to handle it. Because I don't think we've ever been through something kind of like what's happening now with social media impacting how people operate, how people buy. So, you know, this is new territory, so to speak, I think, for a lot of people. Oh, thanks for the correction. Walker says, not the National Guard, the Coast Guard. Same stuff, I'm sure. Military. Military's coming in hot areas, okay? So no disrespect to my military families, but thanks for the education there. And I'm going to be doing some creative strategies to not only sell, but to give. I'm doing it right in front of you so that you can copy the same exact thing in your business, whether you have one or don't have one, okay? Because this is exactly how you expand in crisis. You need to keep producing, keep working, don't stop, even if you can't go to your primary place of work, okay? There are some very interesting things that you can do even if you can't go to work. For example, coming over to this side to add on to the 5 major things that Grant Cardone talked about, some tangible things that you can do if you are in a pickle financially. You can call all your credit card companies, all your bills and debts that you have, and request grace periods if you haven't already. If you are in need, right, and you are running low on cash, you can possibly buy yourself maybe up to 30 days. Okay? So take a look at grace periods. The next thing is negotiate with business owners. For those of you who have jobs, you're a manager, you're in tech, you're in construction, you're in the medical field, whatever it is, Negotiate with business owners. If you've already been sent home from work, okay, if you're someone that's already been sent home from work, right, and maybe you're hourly, maybe you work on tips, I would reach out to your management team. I'd reach out to your boss, to your boss's boss, and I would negotiate with them. Figure out how can you impact their business in times of crisis. Think about it. Say, for example, you, I don't know, I used to work in food and beverage, right? So I was a manager in a entertainment venue. So let's say I was working at that venue right now. That was my primary source of income, was managing the food at this entertainment venue that I used to work at. And coronavirus hits the area and the business says we're not gonna open, we're gonna shut our doors for the next 2 weeks. So now my income has stopped. Let's say I'm getting paid hourly. At the time I was getting paid salary. So even then, you would receive that last paycheck, I guess, right? You got 2 weeks of no pay. Okay. I would, in addition to planning and preparing and all that good stuff, right? Getting all your primaries, your needs, I'd reach out to the owners of that company and say, hey, during this 2-week period, I'd like to help you manage all the party cancellations that you're probably going to have to deal with, all the customer service complaints of people visiting and seeing and recognizing that, oh, business is closed. I would like to help you in terms of creating social media posts to tell people to stay safe and prepare and give some tips on how to prepare for a crisis, right? That's like 4 things already. And for that, I'd like you to just, keep the same pay me for the next 2 weeks, and I can do these things for you double time. Or you could say something along the lines of, hey, even if I have to take a pay cut or negotiate, just say, listen, I need X, Y, and Z for the next 2 weeks. I need to make sure I have food, shelter, my bills are paid, whatnot. If you can at least take care of those things, if I provided you with a number that I need just to make sure that my needs are taken care of, I'll do X, Y, and Z. I'll help with social media posts. I'll help answer the phones while no one else is at work. I'll do it right from home. Just connect it right to my phone, right? And set me up with the phone line, and I'll handle that. Or I'll handle your emails, all the emails that are coming in from the venue, all the party cancellations and the customer complaints, all the social. I'll even create content for you guys, give it to you guys. Maybe I know how to edit. Maybe I'll take some photos, some shout outs. So many ideas. Negotiate with the business owner. So if you have a regular job, regular paying job, salary, you're hourly, talk to them, reach out to them. They got the money, they're rich. Your owner is rich or wealthy if you're working for a major company. Reach out to them. You know why? Nobody else is. Everybody else is panicking and they're not thinking logically. They're not following the money. All you have to do is reach out to your manager, say, hey, I need 15 minutes of your time. Or the boss's boss, hey, I need 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Be prepared. Say, hey, I need $5,000 to make sure that my needs and my bills are paid, water, supplies. I just need to check for $5,000. I'll work for free once this coronavirus passes for the following 2 weeks or a week, or I'll work double. Okay, I'll make sure your business is producing in the time of crisis. Negotiate. See what happens. Okay? Next thing, guys, cut off your wants. The Hulu, the Netflix, the cable, the all that crap, right? Any subscriptions, Spotify, Pandora, you don't need it. If you are in a pickle financially, take a look at your 4 major numbers again. Your income, your expense, your debt, and cash flow. Cut all of that crap off, right? for the next few months. If you don't need it, get rid of it. You'll have more money to get the things that you actually need, right? And you may only have a window. What if the military comes in and puts a curfew around the whole city or town or wherever you're at? And now you can't go nowhere. So let's make sure that you're doing those things. So cut off wants, negotiate with business owners, take a look at your grace periods, right? Take advantage of that. Make sure you're giving, pray. Praying, oh, never a better time to pray than in crisis. Okay? Pray, give. Hey, for those of you who have policies in place, you can leverage your policy. You can borrow some money out just to have some extra cash right then and available. Okay? You can take from there and have that money maybe in liquid cash or just sitting in the bank account ready for anything. You can also request extensions. You can reach out to your landlord if you rent and just say, hey, this thing is hitting the whole U.S. I'd like to request a 15-day grace period, no additional charge, or talk to your landlord, right? Talk to your mortgage company. See if they'll accept an extension. If you've been paying your rent for so many years, you've been paying your mortgage so many years, I'm sure they'll accept that. So think about that. On top of grace periods, see if you can request extensions on maybe like your internet bill or like your cable or your electricity, your water bill. Like reach out. Here's another thing. Request 0% interest on your debts. I know that the president, he mentioned during his talk today that he's stopping all interest on student loan debt. So he's putting a halt on that. See if you can get 0% on other debts, maybe your car loan. Talk to your dealership. Talk to every single person that you are tied to when it comes to money, and try to redirect it back to yourself. Most of my clients already have done this months in advance, cutting off retirements, your contributions to 401ks and IRAs and all that crap that's probably losing a bunch of money right now in the market. So I have a bunch of clients that have already kind of cut off sending that money there so they can have more cash flow now to pay off debt and increase cash flow now. So that might be a pretty smart idea even now if you haven't done so already, cutting off contributions to your retirement account. Okay, cut your losses. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are losing money right now in their 401ks. Most people don't even know. They think their money is safe. It ain't safe. It ain't safe. Promise you. So let me turn it over to some questions. Let's see who's in the chat room. David Burnley says, investing in yourself, time to start sharpening them tools. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What could you guys be doing like right now to keep the flow of money coming in? That is very, very important. How do you keep the flow of money coming in, right? Very, very important. And so here I want to show you an example, right? Like I said, I'm going to do things right in front of you so that you guys can see how I'm operating, okay? How I'm reacting to what's happening in the system and how I'm taking action and taking advantage of opportunities in crisis, okay? Listen, big kingdom principle is giving, right? So I'm not sure if you guys were on the live stream yesterday, but I had, I believe it was 10 people that I gave the manifesto to for free, which is a 1-year subscription to all of my extra video content. It's a do-it-yourself velocity banking course, and there's a community where people can drop their questions and give value. People can share, build relationships, communicate, exchange contact information, whatever you like. It's a private community of people who are all on the same page. They believe in velocity banking. They believe in infinite banking. They believe in kingdom authority, creating wealth, 10x, creating content, building a business, building wealth. Okay. So 10 people, right? That was yesterday. The cost of the manifesto, it's for the year. So I gave those 10 people, the yearly membership. So it's $97. Okay. Now, I also declared to the Lord, I said, look, I'm doing this in your name. So now when you put God's reputation on the line, he must respond because it's his name that's on the line. Okay. So I placed a value on my service, being it's $97 for the Velocity Banking Manifesto course, gave it to 10 people. That's $970. Even in times of crisis, the Lord will do his works. He will provide. He keeps his promises, right? And so when you give, you receive, right? But see, I didn't give with the expectation of getting something. I just know the system of which how the King operates, the King of Kings, our Lord Jesus Christ, God the Father, the Holy Spirit. Knowing how he operates, I simply abide and obey. And I continue to give my time, my money, my patience, my effort, my virtue, my talents, my skills, everything that I have, because at the end of the day, God owns 100%. God owns 100%, and God is asking for 10, right? He's asking for 10. So how much does he own? 100. But he tells you to give 10. So even though you gave 10, you have 90 left. How much does God own? 100. It's still all his. You're just managing it for a temporary period of time while you live on planet Earth. So when I give and when I pay the tax to the king, he then multiplies what I gave beyond the tithe, right? He multiplies it. Now, some of the scriptures I've read talk about tenfold or 10x, right? So just yesterday, $970 times 10, that's $9,700. You know what's super interesting? You know what's super interesting, guys? I was looking at my bank account this morning. And then by the end of today, I got an email from IBC Global. I received income from my very own, from my business, totaling $2,000. And I said, wow, that's pretty interesting. So even in times of crisis, people still buy products, okay? People are still buying things. Could it be that because I declared something, or just because I'm a kingdom citizen, and because I am in God's kingdom here on earth, and I'm abiding by his will, I surrendered my will for his will became my will, okay? Could God be responding that fast? Is he am I that good at what I do? I don't even try to do that. I don't even try to go down that lane, claim that I'm an expert in anything. I know I'm 24. I know I'm young. I got a lot to learn, but I also have a lot to give. And so I'm riding this giving mentality until I reach the age of 30 or 40 plus, where I can then step into a place of, hey, I know what I'm doing because I've been doing it for over a decade or over 2 decades or 3 decades. Then I can throw some confidence, maybe a little pride, not too much pride because pride can kill you, but confidence, over pride, I should say. Just confidence, knowing, just being in the know. That's important. But I saw that. I'm like, wow, $2,000 on a Friday in the midst of a crisis. Could it be linked to the giving? I don't know, right? I don't think that far. I just trust in the Lord, who is the source of all things, and then he provides me with resources. right, with opportunities. So here is another opportunity. For as long as I live, I'm going to keep taking advantage of opportunities and keep giving. So here's another opportunity, okay? For anyone, 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 okay, let me write it down. Anyone, okay? I'm being very, very clear. Anyone, it's March 13th, 2020, okay? Anyone, I want to be very clear. March 13th, 2020. Anyone that knows someone in the military, okay? A veteran. My stepdad came into my room and I guess he was reading a post. So I don't know how valid this information is, but I do believe it to an extent, that people who are in the military or veterans, active, non-active, just any type of military affiliation, to some degree, there's a high percentage of suicides on a daily basis, I think. I don't know. I could be wrong about this. But I'm sure over a year's period, there is a lot of military suicides that are occurring. Okay? Suicide is a crisis. When someone commits suicide, they are taking a permanent action step for a temporary problem, right? So if someone is depressed, have anxiety, they're poor or lost their mind, so to speak, and now they're thinking about taking this permanent action where they're going to remove themselves from the earth. They're going to inflict pain against themselves, remove themselves from the earth. So they're taking a permanent action against a temporary feeling such as depression, anxiety, loss of purpose or loss of just mentality, hope, loss of hope, loss of love, or whatever it is that causes an individual to take their life. They're facing a temporary problem, but they've responded to that crisis, that temporary problem, with a permanent action. So, with that being said, I felt like that kind of hit me. I don't know why my stepdad brought that up of all the things that he could have brought up, but he brought up that apparently, these military veterans and these people who are in the military that are committing suicides like crazy, the number is so high that I guess, funding or the amount of money that is being put into containing this coronavirus is so, like, just the proportion is immense compared to the amount of money that goes to military families, veterans, active, non-active, retired, whatever it is, to prevent those people who've served our country and protected us. Very, very, very little funding. I don't know how accurate this is, but according to what he told me, very little funding is going to them, and not a whole lot of support, I would say, is going to them. And I guess we can see that in the numbers, right? And I know I have a lot of military families. So coming back to my offer here, and I know this again, I'm declaring, Lord, now I'm talking to Lord again right now, and I'm recognizing that when two or more gather in his name, so I already have Joe Flores who's in the house, a kingdom man, so that's two individuals, and I know I have other individuals here that are in the house, 23 people watching, and I know there's someone else in here who is a kingdom woman or a kingdom man. So when two or more gather, so will the Lord be in our presence. So now that he's here in our presence, and I'm declaring an offering, so I'm giving to God's people, what's he gonna do? His reputation's on the line. He must give back. This is his system. This is God's system. I'm just believing in the system. I'm trusting in his system rather than any other system out there in the world, right? Because ultimately his system will prevail over everyone else. So, anyone, it's March 13th, 2020. If you know anyone that's military veteran that is struggling financially or could use some help, I don't know, maybe some encouragement, I would like to offer the manifesto, okay? The manifesto is really my life's work regarding financial and kingdom and mindset and understanding how money works and how things operate, okay? So if you know anyone that's military and you know what, I'm just going to trust in the Lord that no one's going to take advantage of this, that there actually are military veterans, people who have served our country, right? I'm just going to trust in the Lord that people are going to do the right thing, right? There's not going to be any thieves here or someone trying to take advantage of God's system here. If it happens, it happens. God will take care of them. I'm not worried about it. Anyone that knows a military family. So for those of you who are watching and for those of you who will watch the replay, what is it? We got about it's a 2-week period, right? That in my area, the Broward schools and public schools are all shut down. So let's give it 1 week, right? And I know my videos average, about 1,000 views or so in less than 24 hours after I've recorded or posted something. So I know a good portion of my subscribers will see this. So over the next week, so from March 13th to March 20th, 2020, very clear, anyone who knows or is military, you're a veteran of any branch, you've served our country. I don't care if you served our country for 1 year, okay? You're in the military, you're serving our country, you're doing what most people won't ever do, serve, right? And protect, right? So if you're those few, you're those, I call you guys angels. You're literally protectors. You're the army in God's kingdom. That's kind of how I view you in that sense. You're willing to do things that most won't and take up that honor, that duty. I guess whatever burns through you to want to take that action. So over the next week, March 13th to March 20th, 2020, I'd like to offer the manifesto to that military person. Now, the way we're going to do this so that I can manage this properly, okay, you're going to email me. Okay, you're going to send an email at denzel@builder2contributor.com. Okay? Now, very important. You need to, so if you're that anyone, let's say you're someone that's not in the military, but you know someone who is, or you have a family member, whatever the case is, and you want them to, get this. You want them to, see this material rather than watching Hulu and Netflix and all that crap over the next 2 weeks or so. I know there's a lot of areas that are on lockdown, that there are businesses are closing up shop. There, a lot of activity is slowing down in the marketplace. Now's the best time to learn and gather information, gather data so that you can execute once we're out of the crisis. Very, very simple. So coming back to this, so if you're someone that is not in the military, we know someone that is, provide me with their first and last name, email, so that I can add them into the manifesto. Okay? First name, last name, their email address, and then the branch. What give me what's their rank or something to identify them, right? Because every military person has, like an ID, right? So I don't know if you want to screenshot that ID. That would be great. That's a great way to know that person is actually military, So like maybe like a screenshot of that person, match it, has to match their first name, last name, their email address, screenshot of their military ID of the United States. Okay? So here we go. First name, last name, their email, and then ID. Okay? So 3 things. First name, last name, email, their ID. For anyone that knows someone that's in the military, they're a veteran, they're active, okay, or reserve, whatever it is, any branch, okay, they're serving or have served, right? Send them my way. You can even tell them, listen, I got a gift for you, right? You don't got to get into all the details. Just say, hey, I got a gift. Here you go. First name, last name, email, ID. Send the email to denzel@buildertocontributor.com. Putting God's reputation on the line right here, right? Where now I'm given because God gave me the opportunity to do so, and I'm going to take advantage because I can, and I will, and I'll continue to. And I'm going to keep coming back and keep coming back, keep coming back, okay? And we'll go from there. All right. So let me go back to some questions here. Let me go to the questions. Let me see who's in the house. Joe says exactly what I'm doing in my Spanish newspaper, content and more than one stream of business income. Perfect, perfect. Someone says, is the video looping? Joe said no. David, no. Okay, so we're good. Nothing's going bad. Tank, should we have more cash on hand? Question mark. I'm trying to keep it in the line of credit. With all the emails that I've been getting so far, all the banks are saying, hey, stick to online banking because of the cash transaction and the possibility of exchanging the virus. So they're saying, just do online banking. So I'm not gonna lie, I have cash, at home. I always have cash at home, but keep most of my money in the bank, in the line of credit or credit card. So yeah, you can just keep doing your velocity banking, dumping all your income in, taking expenses out. Even if, say you've been living under a rock for some reason, haven't been paying attention to the news, and you did a chunk, let's say recently, from your line of credit, it would still make sense to dump all your income into the line of credit to bring that balance down, number one. Using a credit card to run bills that you can pay with a credit card to avoid more interest, and then slowly take money out as you need it. And the concept doesn't change. Remember, velocity banking is not a magic pill, people. We're just doing math. Primary goal is to save money on interest and increase cash flow faster than the debt snowball concept. We use the debt snowball concept as a benchmark to adjust our velocity banking strategies and make sure we're doing the right thing, to make sure that we are making sense of borrowing money. We have to make sense of borrowing money. We don't want to just borrow money because Denzel said to and because this concept works in velocity banking. No. You want to do the debt snowball concept and see like the track of how long will it take you to be debt free if you were to do this, and then match it up to debt snowball with velocity banking. Debt snowball gets you debt free in 13 years. Velocity banking does it in 4. Which one do you want? Pick one, right? And keep doing what you're doing. But Yeah, so David said, Uncle G said, keep a couple thousand on deck. Most people don't even have $1,000 in their bank account and savings. So that's highly unlikely. But honestly, if you're in my position, you're making multiple six figures, there's no reason why you shouldn't already have a couple G's, right, on hand. There's no reason why you shouldn't have that accessible, like right there, available, in case you got to bounce for any reason. Mr. Jesus says, get rid of wants. I want to be healthy, so I guess I'm canceling my gym membership. I don't think I would cancel my gym membership, especially if it's only like 10, 20 bucks a month. I would first ask for the grace period. Maybe they'll extend it, right? Because what sucks about when you cancel a gym membership is that when you restart it up, then you gotta like pay like the fees again for a brand new membership. So they might charge you that annual fee or whatever it is. So I wouldn't want to get hit with that. Difference between a manager and a servant. Servant has no legal rights in the kingdom. Ooh, that's a tough pill to swallow right there. There's so many Christians and Catholics that call themselves, I'm just a servant, of the Lord. Da, da, da. Where does it say that in the Bible? That you're a servant? Where does it say that? In Genesis, God made man in his image. Okay, image is characteristic in his likeness. Okay, God is not a servant. He serves. Very different. He's not a servant. He serves. And he's also a king. And he made man so that man can rule over God's resources and multiply the original product and produce and be fruitful and multiply the original product, man in the flesh, but also the crops, the land, the trees, the everything that creepeth the earth. Multiply it, be fruitful, be productive, manage it, take care of it, protect it, right? So a manager knows that what it is managing is not his per se. He is taking over ownership, managing it so that the original owner, God, right, can then bless that manager with more to operate and handle with, so that that manager can now make a living for themselves, build a family, build a kingdom, build a community, build an organization to help others do the same. Very simple. Let's see. Joe says I'm a vet as well. Joe, you're already in the program. Don't you worry. Oh, 22 a day, and the country doesn't blink. A flu comes through, and billions are poured. So according to Joel, he's saying 22 people a day who are in the military. I'm assuming that's everyone, active, veterans, non-reserve, or maybe just they converted from military, now they're just regular citizen. They don't have that title anymore. So now they're I'm assuming that's all of them together. So he's saying 22 people a day committing suicide. People that serve damn, what's that number in a year? 22 times 365. So you mean to tell me that 8,000 people in the military a year are killing themselves? I can't believe it. I don't know how true that. I got to do some research on that. But if that's true, and here we are We need to be encouraging these people and delivering the word to them to uplift them out of the crisis. The crisis is simply an event over which they have no control over. It's temporary. A crisis is a season. The season will pass, right? So the whole key to life is outlasting the season and being able to help. Okay? Very, very important. Let's see. Jesus says, I wonder who's the thumbs down. Don't know. You always get a hater. Haters are good. They keep you motivated, you know? First name, rank, then last name. LOL. Yeah. First name, yeah, put their rank, whatever it is. This, let's see. Who's got other questions? Any other questions? Terry says 100. There's no other questions. We'll get ready to wrap up in a few minutes here. Let's see, we're going on about to hit an hour. Bring it back to the board here. Take notes if you haven't already. Pay attention to this stuff. This is super important. Like I said, anyone that knows anyone who's in the military, needs help financially, needs to get their money in order, get their financial house in order, send them my way. I would gladly give them the manifesto. It's my life's work. Okay, it talks all about the velocity banking concept, infinite banking concept, kingdom authority, 10x, creating content. I also talk about the debt snowball concept, you know, because some people have to do debt snowball before they even get to velocity banking. They have to do some pregame stuff. I also talk about credit, you know, and just overall money management. Very important. So yeah. And then just for the hell of it, anyone in this room, for the 21 people watching, if you are not a client already, got 21 people in the house right now. If there's someone in here watching that is new, don't know who I am that well, maybe you just stumbled upon my channel, you're brand new, I'd like to offer you the manifesto as well. If you can find someone in the military, that's all you gotta do. So for the 21 people watching here, only the 21 people, okay? And you have till this evening, you gotta send me an email by midnight. You have to send me an email that you're gonna do that. You're gonna find someone in the military, right? But you have to just send me an email first and let me know, hey, I'm gonna do that, okay? Because there's 21 people in the house. If you're brand new, you don't know me. I know I got some people in here who are clients already. You've already in the program, so don't worry. Keep doing what you're doing. But if you are not in the program, not a client, brand new, don't know me that well, it's fine. I want to build some trust with you. I want to build a relationship. I want to offer you the manifesto, but you have to send me an email tonight by midnight, denzel@buildertocontributor.com, and also find me someone in the military that can use this program, the Velocity Banking Manifesto, okay? So we got anyone and everyone from March 13th to March 20th that's going to go find military people to help get their finances in order. Because you can give people money, right? You can give the poor man on the street money. It ain't going to help them. Not going to help them. Knowledge, right? Access to wisdom is really going to make people change, right? Just handing people money is a temporary, fix. But in terms of building wealth and building a kingdom, you need permanent, principle, fundamental strategies that will not fail, period. And if they can get those fundamental concepts down of spend less than what you make, cash flow is very important, building wealth, building a business, residual and passive income that will outlast you working physically. When they get that stuff down, things like debt snowball, velocity banking, infinite banking, kingdom authority, all that just starts to make sense. 10x, all of it starts to make sense. But you got to get the principles down first. And that's what the manifesto will do. It'll help you get that, right? So we got all those people doing that March 13th and March 20th. Anyone and everyone that knows someone in the military, we're going to give them this program for free. There's hundreds of videos, I think, in there. Many, many hours of content. And then there's also a community of people as well. It's going to take me a while to probably, add you in, but I'll get you in there. And then for anyone watching, hey, you want to jump in, send me an email right now before midnight so I know it was you and not someone, watching tomorrow or the next day, because they weren't here. You got to be here. You got to be in the room to receive, man. Oh, this is cool information. Did you know about Italy suspending mortgage payments for their citizens? Whoa. It's interesting. I had a whole trip planned out to go to Italy from was it April 6th, 7th to April 13th? Like, it was like a 9-10 day trip. Oh, that money's down the drain. But that's okay. I'm gonna reschedule it, and hopefully that area clears up over the next 60 days or so I can go back. But it kind of sucks because now I got to go in the summer. It's going to be hot. I was trying to go during Easter. I want to see the Pope, right? I want to see that whole area and just get mesmerized by it. But it's not going to happen. But that's okay. That is okay. All right. So as we close out, let's take a look at the board one more time. We're going to recap 5 major things that Grant Cardone, Uncle G, 10X man went over. It said, don't panic. Commit to expansion. Follow the Monet. Persist. Be persistent with your goals that we mentioned earlier. Take advantage of opportunities and don't forget to give. Tithe, man. Don't cut the tithe for nothing. Keep giving. God will protect you. God will deliver his promise to you. You just got to believe. You got to have faith. And then you got to do the work in combination with the faith. All right. Already spoke about the military. Get that thing done. First name, last name. Send me their email, and then their military ID. We'll go from there. All right. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. God bless. Talk to you soon.